The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Hello and welcome back to the Icons of Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Timothy Catano, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show for you. Today, we do not have one, but we have two guests on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, I think today you are in for a treat. If you are a person that wants to know more about the industry, right? You want to know exactly how you can get your first home and how you can go about the right way financially to afford it. Well, today's guests have the knowledge and will be sharing the knowledge on that and more with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome two luminaries in real estate, Ivan and Matt Crawford. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. We're happy to be here and happy to discuss some real estate.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I mean, I know it takes a lot for you guys to, be with us. I mean, you guys are busy guys, you have a lot on your plate, but, you decided to be with us today and share some valuable information with our audience. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you for having us. We appreciate it. We always find time to talk real estate.
All right. I like that. Now, I wanted to find out, I wanted to go, all the way to the beginning, right? Where this all started. I wanted to know how, you guys, started Crawford Willis Group. How did that come to you?
Yeah. I was born in the 80s, but it probably goes back all the way to the 60s. My grandfather was in real estate, and he was a builder, real estate agent, had a real estate company. So I grew up in it my whole life. My uncles were real estate agents. My mom was a real estate agent. So I kind of grew up in this world for a long, long time. And then Matt, tell your kind of side of the story.
Yeah, so I grew up in a small southern town in Alabama, surrounded by antebellum homes, and so I just kind of fell in love with the architecture of real estate. And it wasn't until 2002 I moved to the Auburn area and met someone local that was in real estate, and ended up getting my license in 2005. Just kind of caught the bug, and I've been in practicing real estate since 2005 full time, and Evan and I were at an independent firm and met there, and that's kind of where we aligned our views with real estate and started the Crawford Willis Group, and it's grown since then.
Yeah, so put earmuffs on real quick. But Matt was, when I came in, he was kind of my mentor when I came into the business, and he kind of helped me, structure a day as a real estate agent, because I came from I actually was in athletics I played baseball professionally. And so coming from that, I was always told what to do, where to be, and coming into real estate, nobody's telling you that. It's kind of on you. Yeah. And so having somebody, Matt, very, very old, but he's been in the business for a long time, and so he understood what we need to do on a daily basis. So I was kind of drawn to him, and then we did some deals together on the commercial side, and then from there just sort of worked into doing a lot of new construction with builders, representing them, and then we're able to build a team from there.
Oh. Now, my question to you, Van, coming from a family of real estate agents, when you first got into real estate, did you feel the pressure to, I would say to actually be on the same level that they were on, to be as successful as those that came before you were? Was it something, did you feel the pressure of it, or you were like, you know what, it's cool. If it works out, it works out. If not, it's okay.
Yeah, well, like again, coming from sports, don't get too nervous, I guess, and but you got to have a little bit of excitement, coming into it. And so I think it was more just excitement, and knowing I had a pretty good support staff, I guess, coming from family members that could tell me how to guide me through the way to get going and start a true career in this. So I think it was more so, excitement than it was being nervous about it or being anxious to be successful. It was just knowing I had the tool set and knowing I had the help to do it.
Wow, that's amazing. So who started the conversation of the Crawford Willis group? Who brought it up? Was it Matt or was it you, Evan? Who's initiated this conversation?
Yeah, like Evan said, we're when we're at this independent firm, we kind of spearheaded the commercial division there, and we both had interest in commercial real estate, and so I think it sparked from there. We just kind of worked well together, and so any of my weaknesses he was doing well at, and vice versa, and so we decided to just partner from there. And it was kind of yin and yang type thing, and has we've slowly grown it since.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. I definitely there couldn't be two of me. I wouldn't be able to work with me. So
Yeah.
it's I'd be ready to slap me on a daily basis. So it does take a little yin and yang, and we do have completely different personalities, completely different skill sets. So I think that's kind of what makes it work.
Yeah. Now, what would you say you guys have learned from each other over the years?
Like I said, coming in, just having that structure for me, having something to where coming from a structured background and then coming in and just like, hey, here's your day, wake up and try to go get business. So for me, I learned a lot from him on, hey, you need to, time block. You need to have systems for all of your clients coming in. You need to have follow-up systems. And so for me, it was a lot of the ins and outs because obviously, as the industry's ever changing. It's evolving all the time. So, some of those systems that my grandparents obviously didn't have, my parents obviously, didn't have because it was a different industry. I mean, listings were in the newspaper. They weren't on MLSs and syndicated sites, and there wasn't spreadsheets for follow-ups. There weren't CRM systems and all that. So, obviously being able to learn all that was huge.
That's amazing. And Matt, what did you learn from the event? Anything that you took from him, or you like, nah, I told him all the years. He just came empty, man. Like, what you want me to say to him?
No, he's definitely he's a lot more outgoing than I am. So just breaking me, out of my shell and getting out of my comfort zone. Because I tend to fall in, staying what is comfortable, and he brings me out of that and gets me out of my comfort zone, which is all good for growth. And so I've enjoyed it. Hate him a little bit for it, but also enjoy it.
I put him in some videos that he wasn't too fond of, but he's done it. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys have been quite successful. You guys have been really hitting really big numbers, especially in production. What would you say has been the key to your success over the years?
For me, I think it's probably who we surround ourselves with. I think it's not only mentors that we surround ourselves with, but also those that we can mentor because you always learn a little better whenever you're teaching. And so having our first hire was our office manager who's still with us. We celebrated 6 years with her.
Wow.
About a week ago. So, having her around is huge. And then all the agents that we've been able to bring on board, they've just, they've made us better. And to be honest, they're doing the production. We're trying to help them in their business and succeed. And by helping them in their business succeeding is what's helping us succeed. So I think it's just mostly been, who we've been able to surround ourselves with.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I like that. I like it when, leaders look to their team and say, hey, man, it's the people we have around us that have made us successful. other people would have been like, yeah, man, like we said, we are doing a good job here, and if
Well,
your
definitely
team
not
is
all us.
and if your team is listening to this right now, they're like, oh, okay, wow, thank you guys.
Oh, wow. We thank
So
them on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
it's for
yeah.
sure a team effort, and it's a daily grind, and so we appreciate them, and like
Mm.
Evan said, we just try to bring as much value as we can. So we're constantly learning, new things to see what we can bring to the team and make it successful.
Yeah. I also wanted to find out from you guys, where do you see real estate? How do you see the real estate market evolving in the next couple of months and years? I think with a lot of changes that we're currently experiencing in the industry, um, especially with the most popular, the NAR settlement, it looks like it's going to present a lot of changes in the industry. So I just wanted to find out from you guys, what do you think are going to be the changes that we will experience in the real estate market, and how are you guys preparing for it?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously there are some big changes coming. It's been all over the news, and real estate is ever changing.
Yeah,
And if you're not adapting with it, then you're gonna
You're
die
dying.
off.
yeah, yeah.
And so it's important to change with the market and try to be on the forefront. Um, you know, with the digital age of real estate, there's all kinds of information out there. Resources online that people
Mm,
can go to. So I think it's changing in the ways of what it has been in the last 10 years for real estate. It's going to go back to all about the communication, the personal connections. In my opinion, is going to be important, and just getting back to the basics and building rapport with customers and clients, and being that resource for them, because not everything that is online is the most accurate thing. And so
yeah,
just being in the know and building those personal connections is going to be super important moving forward in real estate.
Yeah,
yeah.
to be, being a professional is important in this industry. And you read bad stuff all the time about this new NAR stuff, and people want to
Mm,
complain and people want to bicker about it. But it's to get down to it, it's the same job every single day. It's doing the best thing for your client that you possibly can. It's getting out. It's making connections. And like Matt said, I think that's kind of the crux of our industry is being there and not just being door openers and not just
mm,
putting a sign out and saying, see you later. I'll call you when we get a contract coming. It's there's a little bit more to it than that. And so I think, long term, I think it's going to be a very good thing for the industry, because it's
mm.
really going to set the professionals aside,
Yeah,
because you're not just you need to know the industry. You need to bring value on the, especially as a buyer's agent. Now you really need to bring value to the table. You can't just say, hey, here's, show me some houses you like off of realtor.com and I'll go open the door for you.
yeah.
No, it's, hey, well, how can we get creative with some financing options for you with a lender partner that we have, or lenders that we like to work with, and what can we do on the values of these properties coming in, and values are changing. They're ever changing. Sometimes they're constantly going up like we saw for 4 years in a row, and sometimes they're leveling out. And to know that, not everybody knows that as a consumer. So having a full understanding of the market and a surface level understanding of lending side and appraisal side and things like that, where, don't get too deep into the weeds, obviously, as a real estate agent with those things, because you get
Mm.
yourself in trouble, but you need to know enough to be able to provide some resources for your clients.
Yeah, I like what you said, because you said it will definitely, um, separate professionals and people that are just coming in to just try things out, because you get that a lot, right? And what it does is it gives a bad name to realtors, right? When a person is not in it for the long run, they're coming in part time, they're not even taking it seriously, they're not taking the time to educate themselves on certain things. And, when a person interacts with an agent like that, they just think all agents are not professional. This is terrible service. But with what's coming up now, it's like people that are only going to survive are people that are continuously educating themselves and educating their clients and adapted to the changes. So I really love that you said that, man. That was amazing. Now, I also wanted to find out from you guys, like what are some of the steps that you guys take in educating your clients on the financial side of real estate, right? Especially first-time buyers. First-time buyers tend to fall into a lot of mistakes, especially when they're trying to close in on the first home. It could be small things like they could just mess up their credit
Right.
last
Right.
minute. Maybe you guys are 5 days away from just getting everything done. He goes and gets a cell phone on contract, and like, no, man, why did you have to do that? Like,
Yeah.
so what are some of the steps that you guys take in educating your clients on how to prepare, financially or to purchase their first home?
Yeah, so I mean, communication is key here, and setting those that precedent up front. What we do is with our buyer clients is we like to have that initial buyer consultation. We
Mm.
invite them into our office, or whether we meet at a coffee shop, or wherever. But setting all those expectations up front, and like Evan mentioned earlier, we're as a professional, we have to know the process, when it comes to, lending, practices, what the lenders need and expect out of the buyers and everything. And just going and sitting down with that buyer client and going over all the ins and outs of the process, just not, like Evan said, opening doors and showing them houses. That's the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
But just sitting down with them and expressing to them, all the ins and outs, where to start, how, gathering W-2s and things like that, and what they need to do, not need to do, taking out that loan there at the ninth hour of the transaction and
Yeah.
things like that. But it's just establishing that the expectations up front.
Yeah, I think it's it's a team effort. Whenever you're working with a client, it's a team between you, the lender, possibly their financial advisor, and just kind of getting all on the same page of what their actual need is. Because sometimes people come into the buyer consultant meetings and they think they want something, but they really need something else. And we can get down into finding out what that need truly is for them. And finding out, hey, are you renting? How long have you been renting? How much is that rent? And then we can sit down with a lender and say, hey, if you're going to purchase a home, we need to be around this value to be about where you are on budget wise, to make sure that you're going to be able to build equity at a decent rate and not get yourself in any trouble, on the back end. So it's a lot of times we do have a lender. If they've picked out a lender, we invite them to the buyer consult meetings. We have them sit down there right there with us. So when we're talking numbers, we've got a professional there that can truly give them all the options they may have on the purchase side, with different loan options. There's so many out there, and they're always coming out with more for first-time home buyers, for first responders. There's all kinds of different options, rural properties. There's all kinds of things you can do. And like I said, they lower those parameters a lot of times. They raise them. So having someone there that knows exactly what's going on at this time, because like I said, they change, and sometimes it changes before we know it. And so having a relationship with a lot of lenders in town, I think that definitely helps, because we get a lot of good information from them. They might say, hey, here's something that would be perfect for your clients that are in this price range. And so, and having that knowledge and having those conversations obviously is something that's going to be a value to a buyer coming in and not making a huge mistake.
Wow, that's amazing. I like that. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen out there, I hope you guys are listening to this and you guys are taking notes, right? If your agent is not doing this with you, right? If your agent is not taking the time to sit down and explain everything with you, listen to me, all right? You need to leave them, all right? And call Matt and Even. That's what you need to do, right? And
I like that.
another thing you guys need to do out there is also give us a call if you want to get started with your own podcast. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is sponsored by the Icons of Real Estate Podcast Network, right? So we help you guys start your own real estate podcast or any podcast in general. So give us a call and we'll help you get started. My question is always, if you were to start your own podcast, what would you call it? Now, today I'm excited because I get to throw this question on not just one person, but two people. So who knows? Maybe they probably gonna just brainstorm this together, all right? So guys, if you were to start a podcast, what would you guys call the podcast? What would you call, like, a real estate podcast?
Whew, let's see. I'm at, being in this industry and about where we're at right now and the temperature of everything, I might call it like, hang on tight. This is real estate with the Crawford Willis Group. Let's roll, because you got to hang on tight sometimes. It's a roller coaster, and we're here to guide you through it.
Oh man, it really is. You really need to hang on tight, man. Buckle up, hold the handles and everything, because yes, it really gets really bumpy. I like that. I really like that. That's a good name. That's a good name. I like that. I'm actually, I can see it, and yeah, I like that. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, you know what you need to do. Comment down below what your podcast name would be, right? So,
I'm anxious to see those.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm always curious to see what those would be. Sometimes you have one person be like, "Yes, man, I got an amazing idea. Hang on tight with Don Simmons," and they're like, "Okay, man, just relax." So you guys know this name is taken. You can't come up and say you thought about that. Now, guys, back to this conversation, man. I'm curious, man. When I come across successful real estate groups, I always wonder, how do you guys go about finding the right team members, right? What do you guys do? Do you guys, take them through a test? You guys put them through a field with different obstacles, and the first one to get there is the right
paintballs
one.
at them.
Yeah. So how do you identify an agent with the right mindset, with the mindset and with the values that align with your company?
Yeah, I mean, we typically sit down with them first, Evan and I, and we just ask them about themselves and try to learn their personality traits, and see if they would be a match. Self starters, self motivators, but also being able to work with a team is very important. So with a lot of the potential agents. After we meet with them, we encourage them to call our team, and we want our team to meet with them as well, because we are a team. I mean, we're a family away from our family, and so we all have to work together and have that friendly competition, and just really jive real well. And if we don't, I mean, it's always kind of a downfall for teams if you have that one bad egg in there. It can bring the whole team down. So it's very important that everyone can work together. And I mean, like I said, they're an extension of our family, all the team members, and so we have to have that camaraderie.
Yeah, and that's not, we've learned along the way. We've made mistakes in that regard. Sometimes we've thought something that we saw and we weren't right, and that's going to happen. Yeah. And so we've learned from those things, and we've seen a lot of successful agents come out of, honestly, when we've talked about this in the past, is property management, because just with the structure that they've had, the understanding of what an investor's looking for, it's definitely good for. We're in a college town, so we do a lot of condo sales and stuff for parents coming in and purchasing properties for their kids, and so having someone from that realm has definitely been beneficial. We've seen that be successful, but like Matt said, just people that are willing to work with others and want to help others, and truly want to help their clients. Not, it's usually a red flag when you hear somebody say, "I want to make a lot of money and have a flexible schedule." I'll tell you right now, that's that's been one that we've learned as a red flag. So, because you're on your client schedule and you really want to, it's not about the money. It's about securing a home for someone or a family, and being, making sure they're taken care of the right way, and the money comes after that. So, if that's your first thought, then, you can maybe find success on another team.
Man, you know what, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you are a person that is looking for a real estate agent or a team that you want to reach out to, I think you're hearing all the right things right here. I love what you said. You know, if a person is talking about what they want to do, like me, I want to make a lot of money. I want a lot of free time. I want to buy a Porsche. I want to buy a Lamborghini next year. You know, and you hear nothing about client service. You hear nothing about helping people in the process. That is a huge red flag, right? Because everything else comes after that. Your main priority is making sure that your clients are well taken care of. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you are looking for the best service in town, then the Crawford Willis Group is your go-to. If you're looking for real estate professionals out there, the Crawford Wills Group is your go-to. If you're looking for people that are going to prioritize you, your needs, what you want to achieve, and make sure that they provide you with all the tools necessary to achieve that, then the Crawford Williams Group is the one you need to call. Now, you must be wondering, Timothy, how do I call them? I don't even know what their number is. How can our audience get in touch with you guys?
Yeah. So, obviously our big, draw is our website with all of our information on there is www.crawfordwillisgroup.com. We like to keep it pretty simple. Our social media is all at Crawford Willis Group. And then obviously phone number is 334-663-2950. And those are the best ways to get in touch with us. And believe me, if you reach out in one of those capacities, you will be getting in touch with a real estate agent to chat with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. I like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that, right? You got the number, you got the website. If you are like me, maybe you're a social media head, you got the social media links. So right now, all you need to do is just give them a call, and trust me, you will not regret it. Before we leave, gentlemen, I just want to find out if you guys have any words, any parting words for our audience out there. Any piece of advice that you want to leave them with? Any famous quotes that you want to leave us with, guys?
I'd say a quote that I like, and I just thought of this as talking about the market and talking about the crazy is, I think a smooth sea's never made a skilled sailor. So I think a lot of real estate agents are learning how to be skillful in the industry right now because it's been bumpy. So moving forward, we're going to have a lot of good real estate agents out there to help the clients.
All right. Yeah, waiting for yours as well. I think what I've noticed is, right, you guys are a really good duo, right? Because there's one guy that is really good with words, and he's always ready. Come on, what's the next question, Tim? And then you have Matt in the background. He's just there, like, okay, you know what? I'll handle some of the questions, but I'm gonna let Ivan go for most of them. So I also want to hear from you as well.
You can probably tell who gets us in the most trouble and who keeps us out of trouble too. So.
I can see that. I can already see that. All right, Matt. Any parting words from you?
Yeah, I mean, just as a consumer, it's important to interview who you're going to hire.
Yeah.
Obviously having predetermined questions up front to ask your potential agent you're going to hire is very important because you do want to hire that professional that's going to look after your best interest.
I like that. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are taking notes, right? I understand, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, man, you are so excited. You really can't wait to get things done that you overlook a lot of things, man. You don't even take the time to sit down and make sure that that person that you reaching out to, it really understands what they're doing and understands your needs, right? Because keep in mind, it's a lot of money here, right? We work our butts off to actually be in positions to afford these homes, right? So you want to make sure that you are working with a person that understands that values that understands that a lot of blood, sweat, and tears got into that, and this is not just for you, but for the next generation. So you need to have an agent that treats every meeting, every discussion, every part of the process like that, with that in mind, understanding that, hey, this is not about me. This is about this person right here in front of me and their family. I have to make sure that I give the best service for them. So, I already told you guys out there, if you are looking for people like that, man, look, the Crawford Willis Group is the one you need to go to. Why? Because trust me, they have an amazing track record. Go check them out on online, right? They have an amazing track record. They have amazing reviews. So it's not just us just going back and forth on this podcast, but this is something that you could actually look up and see. All right. So, gentlemen, I'd like to thank you guys so much for an amazing episode. You guys are amazing. Thank you not just for being amazing guests, but for also being amazing leaders, feeding into a successful team, and also being amazing agents, being people that prioritize their customers, their clients. So I'd like to thank you for all of that and more.
Well, we
We
thank you.
appreciate you,
Yeah, we
Timothy.
thank you for having real estate agents on to talk about an industry that we love and being passionate about that, man. And we really appreciate that. And like I said, that's something that we can always root for and we'll always tune into.
Oh well, my lights actually went off. Let me try to get it back. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. I mean, our goal is to make sure that people understand how the industry work, man. I think a lot of people have misconceptions about who agents are and what they go through, but it's good for them to actually see this side, to see that you are people that actually care about them. So thank you so much, man, for being amazing people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
We appreciate you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you got this far, you know what you need to do. Hit the like button. If you are watching this or you listening to this on any other platform, share this with your friend, share this with your social circle because they will love you forever. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing episode with the three amigos.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So you guys know what you need to do. Go follow them on their social media. Follow us on our social media platforms. Until we meet again, take care and peace.
Thank you, Timothy.